Prebiotics or antacids for your gut symptoms, only to find your symptoms worsening, your digestion worsening. Here is what most people do. They go in for quick fixes without addressing the underlying causes of their gut health. My name is Anindita and I am a functional medicine certified health coach and practitioner, and I help women with autoimmune conditions find relief from their symptoms with their bodies as their guide. And today I am talking about why failing to address the underlying causes of your gut related symptoms, your gut issues, can lead to an increase in inflammation and actually aggravate your symptoms and keep you stuck in what I call is a disease merry-go-round. Right? So this is true for many women. The reason I call this a disease merry-go-round is because you are stuck trying one thing after another. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Some symptoms go away, maybe some symptoms come back. And the minute you stop the medication, yes, the symptoms do come back. And that is because obviously you've not really addressed the gut, the root causes that led to these kind of symptoms in the first place. And this is true for so many people out there. And this was also true for Dr. Cynthia Lee. She is now a functional medicine certified practitioner, a medical doctor, and she's the author of the book Brave New Medicine. And I highly recommend the book if you're dealing with any kind of autoimmune kind of conditions or chronic health conditions, and you're looking to really get deep into how an alternative and holistic approach can really help you. If you're watching this live, you can share your comments. Hello Bhavna, hi Neha, good to see you here. And I'm talking about how you can address the true root causes of any kind of of any of your gut related issues, right? So I am talking about Dr. Cynthia Lee, and she shares her inspiring story of how she actually used an alternative and holistic approach when conventional medicine really failed her. And she had this debilitating and sudden health crisis, right? And she found herself battling chronic fatigue, she had chronic pain and a whole host of mysterious symptoms, and nobody had answers why. Right? They couldn't even give her a confirmed diagnosis, which is the case for so many kind of autoimmune conditions. Like you simply don't get a diagnosis probably for a very long time, and there are many reasons for that, but this is a complex chronic condition. Hi Bhavna, if you have any questions, please feel free to share here. As I go along, I'll be answering them. So Dr. Cynthia Lee, in spite of being a medical doctor herself, really struggled to get answers. She'd had her child. Most doctors thought that she had a postpartum depression kind of a situation, but she experienced severe fatigue and dizziness, onslaught, and nobody could tell her why, right? And she initially she herself brushed it off, thinking that she felt well enough, but then she basically got exposed to she was traveling, so she got exposed to severe pollution, stomach flu, second pregnancy, and all of it came together. So she'd had some of the symptoms before, which is the case for so many women, right? You experience these minor symptoms, and many of them are gut related symptoms, and many of us end up brushing it under the carpet, either ignoring it or taking, as I said, an antacid or a prebiotic or something without really trying to understand what's going on, right, and what needs to be done. And she did the same thing. Finally, all these triggers put her just let her so she was basically housebound for almost 6 months. She couldn't move, right? And then initially 6 months, then hospitalization, and finally 2 years she was at home because she was so weak and so ill, right? And again, she still didn't have answers. Finally, when she actually took a different kind of an approach, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, a more integrative kind of approach, she started asking why she had these problems, she finally understood the intricate connections between her immune system, which had basically gone haywire in a way, and her gut health and overall health and well-being, right? Once she understood that, and it was a lot of self-experimentation for her, right? She did not really get all the support. She got some amount of support, and she finally discovered the transformative power of holistic healing, and then she addressed the root causes, and finally she came out of this. And that's what she has written about. Her entire inspiring story from debilitating a disease to health and wellness, and that's what she's shared in the book A Brave New World by Dr. Cynthia Lee. So do check it out. And she herself diagnosed herself with autoimmune thyroiditis, which is becoming more and more common, multiple food sensitivities, and chronic fatigue syndrome. Finally, this is what she realized that she had. And so that's something to learn from. And it reminds us that with the right kind of tools and support, we can actually find a way to reclaim, right, take power of our healing journey and get better. So that's what I am talking about, because you may be dealing with 100 plus symptoms, right? And no one can really appreciate what you're going through or understand how bad things are. Or you may be tired of going from one doctor to another, trying to find answers as to why you have these set of symptoms, right? What, in spite of all the things that you're doing, you might be having healthy foods, you might have taken out maybe certain foods from your diet, you're not having packaged foods, so why do you have these symptoms? Or you may be struggling to eat more than a few foods without having stomach pain, without having diarrhea, and you don't really know what you can eat anymore, right? So some of this, typically the problem is that you are most likely not addressing what is at the root of all these conditions, but you're only trying to find, or you're only being asked actually to to address some of the major symptoms, which are mostly quick fixes, right? So ignoring the connection between gut health and immune function can actually perpetuate the ongoing inflammation, right? So it can actually make things worse in the long run. And I focus specifically on autoimmunity as a condition in women. And we know for sure there's research, not because I'm saying it, that autoimmunity has its root in gut health, and which is why I talk so much about gut health in my podcast, Embracing Your Healing Journey. If you haven't listened to episode, I think number 5, then please do that. I talked about on gut health there as well. And I am, it's crucial to understand the mistakes that you might be making and to how to implement a holistic strategy to support gut health, to help you deal with what you're going through. So I'm going to talk about the simple model. It's SIMPLE model that teaches you how to incorporate a step-by-step approach towards addressing your gut health. That's what I'm going to talk about next. So I'm about to share with you the simple model that has been designed for women like you, and it's a part of my coaching program, Healing from Within. And it allows my clients to incorporate this 5-hour step-by-step approach so that they can actually deal with their gut health. My name is Anindita, and if you're watching me live, I am a functional medicine certified health coach and practitioner, and I work with women with autoimmune conditions to reverse their symptoms using their bodies as their guide. And today I'm talking about how you can use a step-by-step approach, a 5-hour gut healing protocol, which is part of a model that I use inside my coaching program to make things really easy and as easy as possible and convenient for people to implement this, right? So that's what I'm going to share about right now, because you do have the power, you do have the your body has the capability to actually get better when you can support it with what it needs. So that's what I'm going to share with you. If anything has resonated with you so far, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any questions. Do drop in the comments below. So the simple model stands for this. S is strengthen energy production. I is increased body awareness. M is maximize nutrient intake and absorption. P is prioritize what nourishes you. L is lighten your toxic load. E is enrich your life with love and compassion, right? So this is what SIMPLE stands for. Now it might sound a bit complicated, but the way it is woven into the program and the way, the reason I'm sharing it with you here is one of the most effective ways that I've found, and I've, developed these models over the years of working with women with chronic conditions, and I've developed this framework. It's called Body Wise Healing Framework, and this simple model is one of the 3 models that I use. So I'm going to share this model here today because this ties in directly with the 5-hour gut healing protocol that I'm going to talk about next. So that's the reason I'm sharing this with you, so that you can understand and maybe pick up a few things right from here. So this is, what will happen is, as a result of this simple model, you are able to actually cut through the clutter, see things more clearly. It simplifies the whole process, basically, of healing. And you understand what has to be prioritized and why, and how, and you basically learn the step-by-step approach that you need to address your gut health, right? This is what this particular model focuses on. This is the first part. So the 5R gut healing protocol, that is a part of this simple model to maximize nutrient intake and absorption, to help you to, prioritize what is important for your body, what nutrients your body needs to in order to get better. The first step is remove. So remove is removing all those foods, toxins, negative thoughts, anything that is harming your body. So that's R. So that's the first step of the 5-step process. Now, I want to share with you here, this is what I find. Most people get stuck at this particular first step, right? So when I hear things like that, I have taken off gluten from my diet, I've taken off dairy, but I'm still not getting any better. This is why. So if you are dealing with this, if you have tried, making changes in your diet and you've not seen the results, this may be the reason why, right? You've removed these, a couple of foods from your diets, maybe for a short period of time, and you've not seen the results because you've actually not carried out the rest of the 4 steps. So the first step is remove, as I mentioned. So gluten-free, dairy-free, junk foods, all of that. The second step is replace. So you're replacing what your body is not able to produce right now. That means it might mean stomach acid, it might mean digestive enzymes, bile salts, any kind of adrenal support, anything that your body needs right now to maximize nutrient intake, digestion, absorption, right? Your body might be trying to, and there are many reasons for that, gut dysbiosis, etc. But this is something that has to be replaced at this point in time. Not necessarily for the rest of your life, but right now, right? So right now, your body needs this kind of support. And this is very, very common. Most of my clients, obviously, with autoimmune conditions, as I mentioned, has its root in gut health, which is why I'm talking about it today. And I typically start them off with some amount of digestive symptoms. This is very common, actually. So the third step is re-inoculate, right? So you may know and appreciate that your a part of your small intestine, large intestine, which is basically your gut, is filled with microbes, right? These are we have a symbiotic relationship with these microbes, which is bacteria, viruses, yeast, and other different microbes, and that's a symbiotic give and take relationship. So we get something from them and we feed them in turn, right? So if there is a problem there, if there is an imbalance there, and that is usually the case in people who have gut symptoms and autoimmunity and some of the other chronic health conditions, that has to be addressed as well. So you re-inoculate and add in the good bacteria, the good stuff, right? Because that's usually the imbalance. So there is a skewing towards pathogenic microbes rather than the beneficial ones. So what we do is we add in probiotics, we add in prebiotics, cultured foods, right? But if we do this as the first step, it actually might aggravate some of the symptoms. So I'm not going to get into that today, but that is, the step-by-step process is actually very important, and that probably gives you an answer as to why sometimes when if you have taken a probiotic thinking it's going to help you and you have a lot of bloating, etc., gas in any case, and that just aggravates it. So that cannot be the first step. It has to be step number 3. So step 1 was remove first, step number 2 was replace, and step number 3 is re-inoculate. Now step number 4 is repair. So the gut lining itself gets damaged and has to be repaired. There are certain nutrients that we know. Again, there's a whole lot of research on this now, on gut, leaky gut, intestinal permeability, and I've talked about it in my past IGTV lives, and I have talked about it in my podcast episode, Embracing Your Healing Journey. And today, in fact, I talked about a particular issue with gluten and dairy-free diet is not enough. You can go to Embrace Your Healing Journey podcast and listen to it. It's there in the bio. The link is there in the bio. But coming back to the repair part of it, so this gut lining has to be repaired, and you get supplements which have a combination of these nutrients. It can be done via food, but I find that it becomes a bit cumbersome, so it's much easier if you get a combination of these. So there's L-glutamine, aloe vera, zinc carnosine, some of the things that basically heal and repair the gut lining. So this is again another key step which often gets missed out. So a lot of people end up removing certain foods. They might be taking some digestive enzymes and they might be adding probiotics, but they completely miss out this step. So that's another thing that is very, very critical when we're trying especially to address autoimmunity. And the fourth, but last but not the least, the fifth step is rebalance. So when we have gone through these first 4 steps, we reach a stage where we need to make sure that we don't slip back, right? We don't go back. Whatever progress that we have made so far, we need to maintain, we need to sustain that, which is where this particular step comes in, which is rebalance, which is stress relief. So stress management, self-care, sleep, restorative practices, right? Morning routine, evening ritual. So all these things also need to be, accompany this. It's not enough to eat healthy. It's not enough to work out. We need to also understand, what stress does to our body. We need to develop self-care rituals as women and prioritize sleep. This is another area that often gets missed out as well, right? So we focus on sleep, we focus on diet. We don't focus on sleep so much. We focus on diet, we will focus on working out, etc., exercise, and food is typically what is focused on, but we miss out on some of these things about how we need to rebalance our gut. So I hope that this 5R process, which falls under the simple model in my coaching program Healing from Within, has given you some idea as to in what direction you should possibly be heading. Just to sum it up, step 1 is remove first, where you remove junk foods, gluten, dairy, anything that causes inflammation. Step 2 is replace. You're replacing certain things that your body needs to digest, maximize digestion, absorption, intake, which is digestive enzymes, stomach acids, bile salts, etc. Step 3 is renoculate, where you renoculate your gut with good bacteria, the good stuff, so the probiotics, fermented foods. Step 4 is repair, where you add in supplements which typically help to repair the gut lining. And step 5 is rebalance, where you are addressing everything else: sleep, restorative practices, self-care, etc., all of which have a bearing on our gut health. So this is what you need to look at to bring your immune system and your health back into balance, right? And it has to be followed in a particular order. You can start by removing foods, as I mentioned, but this is an order that has to be followed. And I believe that this combination of this 5R step-by-step process of gut healing protocol plus the simple model that I shared with you earlier is effective, because it allows you to cut through the clutter, right? Even with the 5R protocol, it sometimes becomes important to understand what has to be prioritized, how do you approach it, how do you sustain those changes that you make. That's where the simple model comes in, and you get the clarity that you need to make changes that are necessary, right? That are necessary to find relief from the symptoms. Not only that, to actually address what is really going on. And the last but not the least, that thing that I want to share with you, I find that it is really important for you to understand that this simple model that is part of my body-wise healing framework framework that I use in my own coaching program, it instills this awareness in my clients that anyone can learn to support their body's healing process and get better. Like, it is possible. It is possible for you to make changes, and some of these are very basic. Actually, they are basic changes. They are like laying a foundation. The foundation, if it is not strong, it is very hard to build, erect a strong structure. So by doing this, you can see a whole lot of improvements in your health. And if you have any questions, you can drop it in below. If anything that you want to share, any insights, anything that you took away from today's session, I would love to hear it from you. And I also want you to know that I opened up 10 spots for a free 45 minutes discovery call with me over the next couple of weeks. There are a few spots in my coaching program, Healing from Within, that has opened up right now. I work with a very limited number of women. So if you would like to get a clear roadmap as to what your next steps should be and what you need to prioritize, you can head to aninditarungta.com/call. That is aninditarungta.com/call, or head to the link in bio and schedule a free 45 minutes discovery call with me. I look forward to seeing you again.